Did you know that it's a criminal act to shout fire in a crowded theater when there's no fire? I mean, if you didn't know that that was a criminal act, it's not hard to understand why, right? I mean, we all know what would happen because we know what the nature of that crowd is, right? What's going to happen? People are going to die, aren't they? They're going to get trampled to death. And then at the end of it, what are people going to say? Well, the people who were there, who did the trampling, they're going to say, well, it wasn't my fault. I didn't have any choice. And to a certain extent, they're right about that because, as I'll get to in a moment, they didn't do it. Now, the politicians and everybody else, what are they going to do? They're going to find someone to scapegoat, aren't they? They're going to say, oh, it was the business owner cut corners on something or other. There was this, some contractor needs to be found at fault for something because they didn't do something right. The handrail was loose, the elevator didn't work. And then the other politicians are going to blame the other politicians. So there'll be, a lot of political finger pointing. It's all because of the policies of that party. This would never have happened if our party had been in power. But notice what really happens. What really happens? I mean, put yourself in the position there, in the crowd, in the crowded theater. Now, of course, you think I wouldn't trample others. I'd be different, but you wouldn't, would you? Why? What would happen? Well, because you wouldn't be there. You'd have evacuated. Something else would have taken over, wouldn't it? That's what I mean by the individuals didn't do it. None of those individuals set out to trample others. They didn't go to the show that evening and think to themselves, you know what I'm going to do tonight? I'm going to trample some people to death. They didn't do that. Instead, they checked out and they were overtaken by a spirit of violence. Isn't that what happens? Call it a mob mentality. There's a collective spirit that overtakes the individuals. The individuals are no longer there. That collective has taken over. It's overpowered them. It's overwhelmed them. It's in control now. Ah, okay. Now look, this is the nature of the average human, isn't it? That they get overtaken. Happens to you, doesn't it? Just notice in your life. Doesn't it happen? It happens every single day. Every single day. Now remember what I said. Be willing to be shocked awake. Don't try to exempt yourself and say, "Oh, this doesn't apply to me." Because if you want real change, you have to be willing to at least tell the truth as a starting point, don't you think? I mean, if you're lying to yourself, then how can you expect anything to change? You have to at least start there by telling the truth. So just tell the truth. You're checked out a lot of the time. You're not there. You're not doing these things. Am I wrong? Is there anybody here who's going to tell me I'm wrong? So you want success, and you got a couple of problems. First of all, you don't know what success is. And second of all, you're not even around most of the time. Something else is acting through you. And that something else, it's not really that pretty, is it? You know, that that nature that will trample the crowd underfoot. So if you want to know, I'm going to propose a remedy here. You're not going to like this. The remedy for both is the same. Okay, so the problem is twofold. First, you don't know what real success is. Second of all, you're checked out not necessarily most, some of the time. At key moments, you're overtaken by some other force. And that force does not necessarily have yours or anybody else's best interests at heart. It's self-serving, and as it should be. I'm not uh, necessarily saying it's wrong or bad. It just is what it is. Its nature is it's self-serving, and it's not necessarily, in fact, it's almost certainly not in your best interest. It's not aligned with true success for you. So the remedy is this: the one who is willing to allow the discomfort can have the success. I should clarify. The one who is willing to allow the discomfort of not knowing, the discomfort of uncertainty, can have the success. I'm not totally satisfied with that wording. I'm not sure that they can have the success, but we'll leave it at that for now. So the one who is willing to allow the discomfort of not knowing can have the success. You see, just pay attention. Notice in your life, how often are you really willing to allow the discomfort of not knowing, the discomfort of uncertainty? You try to get rid of it at every turn, don't you? I mean, I'll tell you, one of the number one things that I hear from people that they think they want, security. You want some security too, don't you? Want security. But what do you want more? Do you want security or do you want success?